don't know. Tempest's control has been okay.
In this last little bit, he's dodged a few bullets. Before he got the observer.
Yeah, when he has observers.
Just now,
yeah.
Like, he was really close to running into some mines there, and he did a good job not to run into them. That's what I meant by the good control.
Look at that! Look at those vultures.
Oh my god, he's gonna get more probes here.
Tempest is. I mean,
he might lose these vultures, but like.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, like, losing vultures is not a big deal. When the Protoss is so low in probe count, I mean, and he keeps losing them, it's just a disaster. Like, losing 3 vultures for 4 probes, you might not think that's the best idea, but at this point in the game, like, that's worth it for NaDa, because his probe count is just so abysmally low. I mean, Tempest is going to hold this off, and he's still in this game, but I think he's pretty far behind. I wouldn't say really, really far behind, because NaDa kind of has not been paying that much attention to his main, but like he's definitely at a good disadvantage. He's gonna have to fight really hard to get back in this game. He's definitely also not gonna have the option of cutting any probes at any point. Oh my god, the vultures just keep coming. Is this NaDa or is this Iris? I mean, this guy's going nuts. He's picking off another probe there, getting down a whole bunch of mines. Oh my god, another
so many probe deaths. This is so awesome.
Oh my god. Oh,
you have no idea how happy this makes me, like, to see all these probes die. Like, I do not like
awesome
probes at all.
Wow, you actually
that's a really
nexus during that.
Yeah, but that's a really interesting point you make, is that a Protoss, after losing so many probes, can't cut probes or do anything really risky to try and handle an early push. And I think that's exactly what NaDa's going to try and do. He's going to stay on these 2 bases. He knows he's ahead. And I have to imagine that NaDa's going to throw down some more factories at this point and try and go for a 2-base, maybe 5 or 6 factory timing push here, especially on a map like this, where you can't necessarily stay back all the way and then engage. I mean, yeah, so Starport, so maybe he might be going for early upgrades.
He's building a Wraith.
But wait, is he building a Wraith, really?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
The Starport turned on before he started building a control tower. He's building a Wraith. Maybe he's really expecting a Reaver drop or something. But you know what, though? Like, in terms of NaDa pushing or not, I don't know. I don't think we're going to see that because he got the armory so early. We might, but, like, it just, I want to bring up the point that a lot of people don't understand that PvT and TvP, oh my god, he's actually running into the natural here. What a fucking...
He's not Bisu. You are not Bisu.
I mean, apparently he thought he was Bisu there for a moment, but NaDa quickly took that image out of his head. But, like, I just wanted to get back to it because it's such an important point that a lot of people don't understand this, that in mid-game PvT, TvP, he actually really comes down to scouting, and he has a fucking Wraith. I don't know why he built a Wraith, but he has it.
What a guy.
Anyway, it really comes down to scouting. Scouting is so important because NaDa has this economic advantage, and he knows that Tempest cannot afford to cut probes. So if NaDa knew that this 3rd base was up, he would definitely go for a timing push, and the timing push would work. It would kill him. But he just doesn't know about this 3rd base, and it's let's just say it's really hard to scout as a Terran because of Dragoon contains and stuff, and that's why you see high-level Protosses really love to Dragoon contain, because if the Terran doesn't know when the 3rd base gets put up, they can't timing push you. If the Terran knows exactly when you expand, timing pushes are really, really strong. Like, being behind economically like he is now, he would definitely not be able to hold off a timing push, and if he wanted to hold it off, he would have to cut a lot of probes, and since his probe count is so low already, even if he held off a timing push by cutting probe, he would still be in a really bad position. But, like, NaDa did not scout this. NaDa's playing passively. He's going for his 3rd base, and Tempest is now caught up in this game because he took this 3rd so early and NaDa didn't find out about it. I think Tempest is now safely back in this game. I mean, getting the 3rd Nexus so early, it really helps, especially considering the fact that he has 3 Nexuses to pump probes out of. I mean, all he really has to do here is get a 4th base quickly and start doing his tech himself, and he's going to be back in this game.
I wouldn't say that Tempest would be, on par per se, because I mean, you have to imagine
he might not
that Wraith. Oh wow, he actually somehow got the dropship intercepted there. He can't lose that dropship. Well, he did have an observer there, but he got the dropship intercepted, even though he had the Wraith there. But I definitely wouldn't say that Tempest is on par in this game. I mean, you saw an example of last game. I mean, you can't always keep in mind just expansions, because Frozean just had such a tough time against Zhangbi, not necessarily because of econ, but because Zhangbi was so far ahead on tech. and NaDa already has a starport with attached control tower and science facility. He's going to be rocking out the upgrades of 3 bases, and Tempest just now is taking his 4th base. So even if he macroed up, got a lot of gateways, there's really absolutely nothing Tempest could do to break this 3rd base, and he's pretty much just going to have to sit back and macro up. And he still hasn't even started his Citadel. He's probably just starting it now that he's getting his 3rd online. So it's going to be a long way before he's got Arbiters, and NaDa's already going to be ready for that with the science vessels and EMP. And you have to keep in mind too that NaDa built, and he's shown his dropship. He showed it. He has shown his dropship, and that really forces Tempest to be careful. I mean, one thing as a Protoss player being behind that you want to do is you want to kind of not make as many cannons and really spend as little money as you can on your bases, and that's something that Jangbi did really well in the last game. I mean, he hardly built any cannons and he protected his expansions, but showing that dropship, it really forces Tempest to build cannons at all of his expansions to make sure that he doesn't take any more probe losses. And you see like 1 probe there, and actually the Templar Archive's just going down now with the Stargate, going straight to Arbiters, and it's going to come down to micro here. I mean, he's going to have the Arbiters out, he's going to have the Stasis, and he's going to be able to use it, and he can make a really strong break, but at the same time, NaDa's going to have good upgrades. I mean, he's probably going to be +2, +1 when he pushes out. And oh my gosh, NaDa actually moving in with these vultures here is going to try and intercept those probes being transferred. What are the, oh wow. He could be killing so many probes right now, but he keeps trying to lay mines. I mean, kind of trying, I guess, being too greedy, maybe hoping he can kill a lot of units. And seeing vultures place mines and go for units really indicates that you're not going to play for late game, and you're going to try and go for some kind of push. Maybe not in the future, but in the soon, but in the near future at least, because he's trying to use the mines and keep the zealot count down and 2 armories down, and it looks like back up to 8 factories. But NaDa already taking these mineral only too, so NaDa's economy is just really good at this point. And Tempest has been doing okay too, though. Just like you said, NaDa really let him take that base unprotected, and it's going to be pretty much a huge maxed out battle here, and probably pretty soon.
Yeah, I think both players are. Looks like NaDa's pushing out already, but he's not doing a full push. But this is going to work out really well for him. Tempest is losing these Dragoons kind of carelessly. He should have ran away. I don't know why he chose to engage this with 8 Dragoons, and this is really setting him back. I mean, it's not a huge deal this late in the game, but it's you can't really afford to waste units at any kind of pro level play. So that was kind of a pretty sloppy move. I think NaDa is, apart from the little blunder and letting Tempest get back in this game, he's definitely not like, he's cementing his advantage. He let Tempest back in the game, and so he only had a slight advantage, but he's holding on to this slight advantage really well. I mean, taking the right side of the map there, he's going to get those bases up, getting his factory count up really quickly, and his tech is up really ahead. So I mean, if he's been keeping up with the upgrades, which I assume he has, I think he's gonna have a really strong push here, and Tempest is gonna have a hard time dealing with it. Like you said, it's all gonna come down to control. Like Tempest has to have good control. He has to get good stasises off. He can do it. I mean, this game's not over for him. He's in this game, but he really has to micro well, and he has to control well.
That Wraith is still alive down there.
It's still killing off a...
Look at it, he's got 2 kills. What an awesome Wraith.
That's 2 probes he's got now that were going for that expansion. Okay, he finally got a Nexus.
Oh wow,
down
push
there.
coming out.
It's actually behind NaDa, so... Oh yeah, that's actually a lot. That's a pretty quick push. I mean, I don't... Is he gonna go down the bridges, or he's just kind of securing the middle there? I don't know.
Well,
yeah,
this is a really tough position for Tempest, though. Yeah, I mean, look at that, though. I mean, all those bridges are really going to work towards NaDa's favor. I mean, Tempest really has to engage this push as late as he can, and if NaDa just gets up there and secures the bridges, he can really go down and go right for Tempest's 4th base there. And it looks like Tempest moving up and ready to go for some sort of flank attack. I mean, he's got a single Arbiter out and double Stargates. He really wants those Arbiters fast, especially considering he's already on 4 gases. At least if he needs to. I don't know if he's taking his 4th assimilator, but wow, NaDa just expanding everywhere. And I'd like to see this. I mean, NaDa been an old school player. I mean, usually you see players like this go for relatively low econ style, and to see NaDa hold an advantage and play a macro game is really good to see, and it's really, it's something that he's going to need to be able to do if he wants to defeat the likes of Jangbi and Stork, and, even Tempest at this point. But Animali's actually got a shuttle out, and I presume they got high Templars in there. I don't know how effective Zealot bombs would be this late in the game with so many Goliaths. And NaDa just kind of moving around, trying to get good position. I have to imagine he's going to try and secure the bridges. But Tempest, yeah, 2-1 just coming out. And Tempest looks like he's going to move up here and try and break this push before it gets down there. And Tempest now moving all of his forces across the bridge and now back across the bridge, kind of not really making up his mind. And you see Tempest already preparing for the push. I mean, all of his gateways are rallied up there, and pure Zealots, just because Zealots move so much faster and are good for breaking tank lines, he's just like massing them up at this point. And also they work a lot better getting through the bridges on this map. But really, like, what would you do with your army at this point when you have a Terran with a huge army threatening your 4th base like that?
Well, I mean, he's doing the right thing by keeping his army moving around. He like, normally a map with bridges like this, with tight spaces and with lots of narrow passages, that plays in Terran's favor. But the one thing that is a consolation for Protoss, he's losing a lot of probes here. This is not going well for him at all. But I mean, the one thing that he's doing right there, the one consolation for Protoss, is that you can use your superior mobility and move your army around and just keep the Terran, on guard as to he doesn't know exactly where your army's going to come from. You have to be really careful not to get caught in a bad position, and that's what I would do. I mean, that's